It didn't happen with explosions. It happened with silence. The silence of cities emptying, soldiers laying down arms, and lines collapsing. If Russia really took Pokrovsk, then Myrnohrad may be living through a moment that will rewrite the entire map of Donbass. Fall of Pokrovsk. Reports claiming the fall of Pokrovsk suggest a major shift in the regional balance. Pokrovsk has long served as a defensive anchor for Ukrainian forces in this part of the Donbass, meaning that if this city indeed fell, the loss would signal a critical weakening of the local defensive grid. The fall likely came after prolonged pressure, heavy drone activity, artillery strikes, and infantry assaults that gradually eroded Ukrainian positions. Such collapses often happen when supply lines shrink, reinforcements are delayed, or communication breaks down. Once breaches appear, even small tactical failures can snowball quickly. If the city truly changed control, it means the front line has moved significantly westward, placing nearby towns in immediate danger. The fall of Pokrovsk would not be an isolated event. It would function as the first domino in a larger shift if further Ukrainian withdrawals or surrenders occurred in the following days. Why Pokrovsk was strategically important. Pokrovsk holds major strategic value because it sits at a crucial junction of roads, logistics routes, and supply corridors that feed Ukrainian forces across the Donbass. For years, this city acted as a buffer, protecting deeper urban areas from rapid encirclement or overrun maneuvers. It served not only as a defensive line, but also as a hub for troop rotation, ammunition distribution, and evacuation routes. Losing such a location, if confirmed, would stretch Ukraine's ability to stabilize nearby sectors. Strategically, Pokrovsk's open terrain also offers natural advantages to whoever controls it, enabling quick deployment of artillery and vehicles. Because it links several towns, its fall would force Ukraine to rely on longer, more vulnerable supply routes. For Russia, capturing Pokrovsk would provide momentum, simplify future advances, and place psychological pressure on Ukrainian units in surrounding areas. This is why its reported loss is being viewed as a major turning point. Annoyed breakdown of Ukrainian defensive lines. The collapse of Ukrainian defensive lines around Pokrovsk, if the reports hold true, likely resulted from months of accumulated strain rather than a single tactical mistake. Ukrainian front lines in this region were reportedly facing shortages of artillery shells, reduced manpower availability, and extensive drone attacks that constantly disrupted movement and communication. Drone surveillance would have given Russian units precise targeting data, making defensive positions increasingly unsafe. Exhaustion also plays a significant role. Units that go too long without rotation tend to lose physical stamina and morale. Weather conditions, trench flooding, and lack of night vision equipment in some areas may have further weakened defensive capabilities. When artillery pressure rises and counter-battery fire becomes limited, positions that were once strong can quickly become untenable. If the defenses did break, it would reflect both the tactical challenges on the ground and the broader strain on Ukraine's logistical and reinforcement networks. Impact of Pokrovsk's fall on nearby towns. The reported fall of Pokrovsk would have created an immediate chain reaction across nearby towns, especially those dependent on Pokrovsk for supplies, communication, and reinforcing units. Cities like Myrnohrad, Novohrodivka, and surrounding settlements could suddenly find themselves exposed, with fewer defensive layers between them and advancing forces. When a major strongpoint collapses, nearby towns often face unexpected risk of partial encirclement or isolation, leading to confusion among local defense units. Civilians may evacuate quickly, increasing traffic and complicating military movement. Ukrainian troops positioned near Pokrovsk may have been forced to retreat rapidly, leaving some positions temporarily unmanned or disorganized. This creates openings that an opposing force can exploit quickly. Such a collapse also affects morale. Units in the surrounding area may feel overwhelmed or cut off, increasing the likelihood of withdrawal or surrender. The wider region may shift from controlled defense to emergency stabilization efforts. Reports of mass surrender in Myrnohrad. Claims of mass surrenders in Myrnohrad, if verified, could be linked directly to the shock created by Pokrovsk's fall. When a major city collapses, nearby defenders often lose command links or face sudden encirclement threats. Surrender typically occurs when ammunition is low, reinforcements are unlikely, and escape routes are shrinking. Soldiers may feel abandoned or outmatched, especially if drones and artillery prevent organized retreat. If Myrnohrad units did surrender, possible causes include loss of commanders, broken radio contact, insufficient supplies, and the psychological weight of being outflanked. In such moments, continuing to fight may seem hopeless. It's important to emphasize that these reports require confirmation, as battlefield information can be chaotic and manipulated. But if true, mass surrender would indicate severe pressure on Ukraine's defensive structure in this area, reshaping the dynamics of the local battle and giving Russia a sudden advantage in manpower control. Russian objectives after capturing Pokrovsk. If Russia captured Pokrovsk, it would likely be part of a broader strategy to break Ukraine's western Donbas defense line. The city opens direct routes to deeper, more strategic towns, allowing faster advances before Ukraine can regroup. Russia could use the city as a new logistics hub and push artillery farther west, threatening Ukrainian supply routes. The capture would also weaken Ukrainian morale and help Russia build a strong political narrative of success. With momentum on its side, Russia may try to advance quickly and secure as much territory as possible before Ukraine receives new reinforcements or international supplies. Ukrainian tactical and logistical problems. Ukraine's defensive problems around this region likely come from multiple issues hitting at once. Ammunition and equipment shortages, especially for countering drones, make it difficult to hold long front lines. Many units have fought for months without rest, reducing effectiveness. Russian drones and jamming disrupt communication and expose defensive positions. Winter mud and low visibility slow movement and make coordination harder. If Pokrovsk fell, it suggests Ukraine struggled to maintain supply lines or conduct an organized withdrawal. Constant artillery pressure, manpower strain, and disrupted logistics make even strong defensive positions vulnerable in such high-intensity environments. How the front line in Donbas will shift. If Pokrovsk truly fell, the front line would shift westward quickly. Ukraine would likely pull back to new defensive lines around Kostiantynivka or other fortified towns, compressing its positions but increasing pressure on crucial supply hubs. Russia would gain better artillery range over more Ukrainian-held areas and might redeploy forces to exploit gaps created during withdrawals. Control of Pokrovsk provides Russia with direct access routes deeper into the region, speeding up future offensives. Both sides would focus on holding key road intersections, higher ground, and industrial zones. The next weeks would show whether the line stabilizes or shifts further. Possible future scenarios for both sides. If these reports are accurate, three main scenarios could unfold. Ukraine may reinforce nearby towns, build new defense lines, and receive increased international support, slowing Russia's momentum. Or Russia could continue advancing quickly, capturing more settlements before Ukraine reorganizes. A third scenario is a fluid front line, with both sides trading small areas while preparing for larger offensives. Factors like drone production, artillery supplies, weather, morale, and foreign assistance will determine outcomes. Ukraine must improve manpower distribution and air defense, while Russia aims to exploit numerical strength. The next phase depends on who adapts fastest to battlefield conditions. With Pokrovsk on the edge and Myrnohrad in crisis, the map of Donbas is already changing. One move, one retreat, one surrender, and the whole region flips. This moment isn't just important, it's historic. If you want to follow how this story unfolds, don't go anywhere. Head over to the next video because the next twist is already on its way.